There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With even more exclusive content, with over 150 channels in your vehicle, including the widest, deepest variety of music, ad-free. Root for your team. Get news. Listen to whatever makes you laugh. And hear all about your favorite stars. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels filled with music and enjoy a favorite shows with SiriusXM Video. Thousands of hours of shows and performances on demand. What you love is on now.
So in the history of the remote starter and security industry, Omega has been a major player since the get-go, and they've had so many innovations under their belt, and it's great to see that now in 2022, they're at the forefront with some really incredible products that you need to know about. We've got Michael Betts. They're a product expert, which is in the house with us today. We're going to go over everything they got, especially some new toys that you may want to know about that'll help facilitate your installation and improve the customer experience. This is CMA Showcase presented by SiriusXM, Excalibur, and Crimestopper, and they start now. Hey, what's going on, everybody? And thanks for tuning in to this CMA Showcase presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. We are exploring, of course, remote starters. And this is, it's that time of the year where so many of our dealers look forward to because, obviously, for many, this represents a big chunk of their business. Now, if you ask me, old school installer here, I certainly recognize brands like Excalibur and Crimestopper. Now, the Omega brand, you might not be quite as aware of because that's kind of like their manufacturing, their behind-the-scenes brand. The brand that you'll see on the boxes is going to be Excalibur and Crimestopper, and we're certainly going to explore those today. I'm excited to learn about it. The gentleman we have on has been there for a long time, a wealth of knowledge that we're going to tap into today and learn all about what the offering is heading into this 2022 season. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome him to the studio. He is the technical support manager for Omega and making his first CMA Networks debut with us, Mr. Michael Betts.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you, Ben?
Michael, first and foremost, welcome to CMA Networks. Happy to have you on, sir.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, not only are we happy to have you, but we're also happy to be able to talk about Omega brand products for the first time as well. So that's super exciting news as well. Let's start. Being your first time, why don't I ask you to provide us a little bit of background story about the Omega brand and the history within the security and remote starter space?
Oh, no problem. Omega was established in 1971. We were one of the largest holders of patents in the security and remote start industry. Various products throughout the years, and currently we offer our 70 series and a couple other things I'm going to cover today. But we're a company that's built on reliability as well as functionality, but we listen to our dealers and installers as well.
Yeah, and there's no doubt that Omega has a following. Those who are loyal Omega, installers and techs who believe in the product certainly are very vocal about it. And today we want to find out why. So maybe you can help us understand by pointing out maybe a couple of the key features or products that really are standing out from your offering.
Our 70 series products, we introduced in 2016. Very good following. We've enhanced them throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
We're introducing a new piece today, which we're actually going to introduce on the show today for you, so you have a first. You like that. The Linker MBT, which is our newer product that we're really, really excited about for season. But we try to offer dealers and installers as well as users, because at the end of the day, yes, installers put them in and dealers sell them, but it's the user that we're concerned with to make sure they have a product that's reliable, easy to use, but at the same time gives you some options to expand if you wanted to.
Well, that's certainly exciting. This is a showcase. Of course, we're expecting some new product, and we look forward to learning all about it. On that note, please provide us an overview of what we're going to cover today.
Awesome. We're going to cover our Linker MBT, which is our new product we're introducing this year. We're going to cover our 70 series, which is our, remote start brains and security products we offer. And we're also going to cover our T-harness selection and some features along with that some people know, but some people weren't really familiar with.
Very, very good. So pretty much a full solution suite in the category, and some new product to boot. So why don't we set you up, Michael? We'll bring your presentation up, and you have the stage, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. As you can see, established 1971. 1 year after I was born. But nevertheless, we were one of the oldest security companies in the country, or actually in the world of 12 volt. What I'm going to cover today is some newer products, as well as some products that a lot of people are familiar with, but some features that you may or may not know about them that I think are really going to add some value to not only your line, but as well as, some options for your customers. Starting right off, we're not going to hesitate. Linker MBT is our newest product that we're introducing this year. It's a Bluetooth control, but it's also a system programmer and an updater. Not really going to get into it yet. You got to stick around for that, but it's well worth the wait. But nevertheless, you're going to like it. And it's a new app for iOS as well as Android. So starting off with our 70 series, which is our bread and butter. As many of you know, we have 2 control units in that particular field. We have the ALXX70B as well as the RSX70, which is our most popular and our workhorse, if you will. Both of them can be security systems, remote starts with security systems. Starting with the XX70B, it's a blade compatible unit, 7 onboard relays, 5 are programmable. The harnesses are positioned on one side to save space and make it easy for installers to install them. Does have an onboard temp sensor and a battery backup. This is a feature that we introduced actually in the 80s. You take a simple 9-volt battery and it allows you to retain control from the remotes as well as the security features, even when the battery's been disconnected. Dual sensor ports, so it allows expandability for adding additional sensors, as well as dual data ports. And all of our 70 series systems are flashable by XOS firmware, which I'll cover in a little bit. The blade, as you can see, is a cartridge that is essentially your interface for the vehicle. Door locks, immobilizer, bypass, or both. It provides that. The nice thing about the XX70B, it makes for a cleaner install. The actual bypass unit docks to the unit. Plus, you can flash it just by plugging it into the computer when you do so. Very clean, simple install, but very effective. And it's something that, a lot of more and more installers are, taking heed to because of the flexibility that it offers. The X70 brain, which, like I said, is our workhorse. Compact design, 5 onboard relays, 3 are programmable. The harnesses, just like the XX70, are positioned to one side, as well as the onboard temp sensor and the dual data ports. This one here, even though it is by rule a remote start system, it can be updated to a full alarm system. And there's a lot of benefits of doing that, especially for your customer, dealers, and installers, because now you have that customer who purchased a system one day, wants to upgrade. You're not forced to rip out the whole system and install a brand new one. Some of the remotes that we offer, these are our 2-way remotes, everything from a LoRa 1-mile remote to a 3,000 foot or a quarter-mile variation. Yes, we still have the LCD remote. We have an LED 2-way as well as a single button 2-way. Because the advent of push-to-start vehicles or vehicles that have remotes built into the head of the keychain, this has become a very, very popular option because it allows them to have a 2-way on a 1 button. So it gives them the status of the remote starter, runtime. In addition to that, our other 2-ways have low battery alerts. So they will actually alert you to when the battery in the vehicle is low, not just the remote itself, but when the battery is low. In addition to that, the 3 on the left allow for multi-vehicle control. So you can control 2 vehicles with 1 remote, and they all offer beep, vibrate, and mute modes, laser engraved, metal frame, and the biggest thing with all of our systems, components, remotes, all of them have a lifetime warranty. So what that means is it adds a lot of peace of mind for your dealer, your customer. Things happen, you can get sent back to us as long as they meet the criteria. They'll be warranted or replaced. and sent back to you. Because that's right here is the main wear item of any security system or remote start is the actual remote because of the environment it's in. Now, peace of mind of a lifetime warranty has a lot of value to a lot of customers as well as dealers. Our one-way remote, starting with the 5-button lower remote over 1 mile, the 4 buttons, which have been extremely popular, metal frame for durability, very, very small and lightweight, 900 megahertz SST and 433. And then our 1+1 and our 1-button remotes. The 1+1 is one of my personal favorites because it has a dedicated lock and unlock button. The bonus of that is if you have an older vehicle, the factory remote does not work while it's running, gives you the ability to program that button just to unlock only. So you have that customer maybe older, is not really familiar with remote starts or wants to deal with a lot of complexity. You can program that button to unlock. They can hit it 10 times and all it's going to do is unlock 10 times. And of course, our single button variations as well. A lot of vehicles that have push to starts as well as remotes that are built into the hidden key. And that's just like the 2-ways, lifetime warranty on all of them. Some of the features for XOS firmware, 3 times lock to start is available on any system you go with. You can select it from 1 to 4 pulses, or if it's ran by data, it'll accept that as well. Full data link telematics with linker control. Linker LT is our smartphone interface that utilizes the phone and the cellular connection. On our SST models or 3D sensors, 3D sensors built into the antenna for manual transmission mode. We do support that on all of our systems that we offer. The bonus of that is even though there is a reservation mode, if the vehicle inadvertently gets moved into gear, when the remote start sequence is engaged, that movement from the vehicle being in gear and trying to start will trip the sensor and shut the remote starter down. We even also offer low and high temp auto stop modes. The temperature gets to a certain temperature. When it's too low in the wintertime, it'll remote start the vehicle. And in the summertime, it's the opposite. If it gets too high, you can remote start it as well. We even have a feature that you can lock the system without actually arming it. Very good for campers, RVs, or if you just want to lock your vehicle but don't want to arm the security system. We even offer an extended pit stop mode. The reason why this is significant is there's service vehicles or vehicles with lighting or other equipment that may be parked on the side of the road on construction. I live in Pittsburgh, so everybody knows about construction here and other parts of the country. Nevertheless, the remote start can be activated to run up to 12 hours. Can also allow the vehicle to be locked during that time. Keeps the battery charged, keeps the components running. We even added a human panic horn alert, so when the alarm goes off, it's just not a standard pulse, but it's very random, and it draws more equipment or more attention, I'm sorry. On the installation side, we have an alarm tune and diagnostic mode. Allows you to actually test all the sensors, make sure they're all working, but not trip the alarm. All of our systems are compatible with our T-harnesses. And we do have a vehicle learn technology, which I'm going to cover shortly. It's a patented feature we introduced with the 70 series, which cuts down on a lot of settings for the installer. And of course, the remote start diagnostic mode. So in the event that the vehicle does not remote start for whatever reason, the actual remote starter will tell you why. On the XX70B, we have 2 single pole double throw relays. So for lighting is for 1 because parking lights on vehicles is not simple anymore. That gives you some flexibility. Quick remote start diagnosis on the actual LED or the antenna. We have a crank averaging mode, and we do have a progressive alternator mode. So these vehicles that when they start them, if there's not a heavy load, the alternator doesn't ramp up. We have a mode to cover that. And of course, with the RSX70, you can simply add a siren and an actual shock sensor, tap on the actual sensor, and it actually turns on the security features for you. And of course, all of the 70 series is compatible with our new linker MPT. So as far as the vehicle learn, as we call it, the AI, some of the things that it does, it detects your ignition, accessory, and starter connections and makes sure that they are correct. It does confirm the number of connections that you made. In addition to that, it allows you to quickly go from gas to diesel and await to start. And of course, it auto selects what best engine detection mode is available, starting from data tag, TAC, or voltage. In addition to that, given all of our 70 series do support the DBI protocol as well as the iData 2-way protocol, It will auto detect and automatically switch to the appropriate protocol for whatever's plugged into the port. And of course, it allows you to select manual transmission mode very quickly and easily. And then all of our systems have had a neutral safety input. If you choose not to connect that, you can bypass that as well with the vehicle learn feature. The whole process takes about 20 seconds or less, and it gives a lot of flexibility, especially in a lot of vehicles that may not have a traditional ignition system, like certain Toyotas have 2 starters, 2 ignitions, but no accessory. Allows you to cater to that. The biggest thing this year for the season is going to be Linker MBT. This is a system that we've been working on for a while, has a lot of things that we're doing that no other company is doing right now. It is a Bluetooth controller, but it's also a system programmer and updater. It's only compatible with our 70 series as well as our Crimestopper G6 series. It allows for system control, ranges up to 300 feet, and that is going to vary because it is a Bluetooth connection. Has a pass-through, so if you're using the port on the actual 70, you can still utilize the port for the bypass interface you're using by simply plugging it in. You can update system firmware, the settings. You can actually see the current settings. And then the bonus is any settings that are changed or even the current settings, every time you log into the app, all the settings are updated to our server in the cloud. So us in technical support, we have the ability to view your settings and see what that may be changed or exactly how you can change them. And of course, we support iOS as well as Android. So what this is basically off-grid lock and unlock. Some of the bonuses, we have people who may do camping or they may be in areas where they have no cellular service. The bonus with this is if they're in the woods or if they're swimming, obviously they may not want to take their keys. The bonus is they can still utilize this because it does not rely on a cellular connection. All you have to do is have your phone, be close to the vehicle, and you can access it. You can even see the temperature in the vehicle, see the remaining runtime when the vehicle is remote started. You can obviously name it because you can have multiple vehicles on the app. You can select the image of which vehicle it is, and then you can see in real time what the status is, if the vehicle is locked or unlocked. And we even give you the ability to share, whether it's with your dealer who installed it or other family members that allow you to control it as well. Really, really quick and easy to do. So the live system configuration, all the settings for the 70 can be viewed on the actual unit itself and changed. Anything from runtime, security features, and even installer features. So you can change different outputs for the relay. You can turn on accessory outputs and things of that nature. Easy to see default settings. And of course, a real easy way to quickly to reset if you're not sure what you changed or what they should be. No more programming mistakes because an installer can use it, plug it directly in, even a consumer use it. However, we don't recommend that consumers get into the installer sections, but they still have the ability to do so. The nice thing about it is we have the ability to see everything in the cloud. So if a customer or installer does have an issue, they can give us a serial number or the name. We can log into the actual website and we can view all of the settings and then in real time tell them what settings they need. There's also a temporary guest mode. So if a customer comes back, he can allow access to an installer to use on their phone. And of course, any warnings for sensitive banks are always mentioned no matter what. So if they're going into the installer section, it's going to let them know. Live system updates. So once again, if there's an update for the actual linker itself or the 70, you can do in real time over the air. Designed for model vehicles, you can change it on the fly. And what's nice is you don't have to access the unit in the vehicle, meaning you don't have to take it out. You don't have to use the valet switch in the remote. You can just simply log into the app and go into that setting. So what we have is a quick demonstration on the unit and mine. Ben, if you can you bring up my particular screen that shows the app? Thank you. So as you can see now, this is linked to my vehicle as we speak. So you see the vehicle there, says the Betts edition. Yes, that's my car. And it currently shows that it's locked. So everything is relatively fast. So what we have here, we have the signal strength, we have the runtime, relative temperature in the vehicle. We do an unlock command. So it shows the unlock as well. And then if we do lock again, once we actually remote start the vehicle, It will show the runtime. So the vehicle is running now, and it counts down from 20. And if we shut the vehicle off, we do remote start runtime. So shut that off. So for some unforeseen reason, the mirroring stopped. I apologize for that. Let me see if we can get that back up, because what I wanted to show you was just the actual screen here. So it should come back up. There we go. Okay. Okay, so it came back. We'll bring that back up. Bring that back up again, Ben. I got it back up again. Gotta love the wonderful world of technology. Always issues. There we go. So what's nice is what we'll do is we'll unlock it first, because it has to be in the unlocked state. And then we have some other features. So the system configuration, we can go into there. Shows the actual current version. Says please wait. And I'm waiting. And I'm waiting. There we go. And then we can configure the system. So as you can see, it's loading with the settings now and downloading it from the cloud. So bear with it. Do have it on airplane mode. So there we go. So we have the user features here. You can see the runtime I can change. So if I change it to 15 minutes, I can load default settings. And then once I'm done, I can just simply save it. Tells me it's saved, and I'm back out. So as you can see, all that was done in real time. And the moment I did that, it was updated in the actual server in the cloud. So very, very valuable tool, not only for your customer as well as the installers. But like I said, that was a brief demonstration. Apologize for the glitch, but that's what happens when you do things live sometimes. So nevertheless, we'll get back to the presentation. Thank you. The AUSCC is a security system upgrade, has a digital shock sensor, which works with all of our 70 series products, and a siren as well. It's nice that you can basically have this on the counter, so that customer that is paying for the remote start system, you can let them know, hey, at any particular point, you can upgrade. This is what the price would be. Plants a seed, but also so they know they bought a system that they can expand at any particular point. The T-harness program we introduced in actually 2018, 2019 is expanded. All of our T-harnesses are compatible with any system we offer, X70, XX70, Blade, non-Blade, even other manufacturers. In addition to that, we support manual transmissions, and also we include full guides for every application. So what that means is any vehicle you're working on with the T-harness, we not only provide the actual install for the T-harness as well, but other connections that may be required from the remote starter. We also offer a power harness adapter, and for our Crimestopper G5 series, because we still do support that and produce it, we even have an adapter for that. Plus, we even have guides specific for that. So we actually show how to use our T-harness for the Omega Link that's going to be listed, with the G5 showing the actual connections from the G5 as well as the T-harness. Some of the T-harnesses we introduced this year, NI8, which has been very popular for Nissan vehicles. CH7 and FM8 are still very popular for Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep, as well as Fords. And we introduced 2 T-harnesses for push-to-start Lexuses and Toyotas, the TL6 and the TL7. All are available now and shipping currently. Wiresheet.com does have an actual search for our T-harnesses. It shows not only what is available for it as far as the bypass is concerned, but what T-harness is available, and you can even get the guide for it as well. Makes it really, really easy, and you don't even have to log in to access the information. What we do with our T-harnesses, like I mentioned, we include all of the connections that are required. So all the connections for the T-harnesses as well as the remote start. We break them down to XX70B, RSX70, and Crimestopper. And we even cover the newer RS firmware applications. So example, this one here is a Blade unit here for Toyota Lexus push to start. Shows the optional siren if you're doing it as a security system and all the connections that are required and the additional notes. This one is for RSX70 with an MBBR. And that adapter comes with every application. So it's not something you have to buy extra. And then for this year, we added an additional cable for if you're using an MDB-all, as I call flying solo, running RS firmware. So if you have that Toyota Lexus, you're doing 3 times lock to start with the MDB-all, ALCA, or FL-CAN, we include the specific adapter and we include specific directions for it, showing all the connections in the vehicle as well as the MDB-all. So yes, it's a lot, and there's a whole lot more that we have, but this is what we covered today. Ben, if you want to come back in, because that's pretty much the end of the presentation that I have. And like I said, thank you for listening today, because it was great, sharing this information with you, and you can always call in and get more questions answered.
Absolutely. And we're going to dive in a little bit here. So first of all, great job on the presentation, Mike. Very clear, very concise. And yes, we understand that this is just a snapshot, but I think, with the decisions that you guys made as a team to what to bring forward, certainly a lot to digest. And I have a couple of questions for you. Naturally.
Sure.
So let's say I'm new to Omega. I've been doing this type of business for quite some time, and something you said kind of clicked with me. Let's first probe you a little bit from experience and what you're seeing as feedback from dealers. If I was a new dealer, what type of initial order or what SKUs would you recommend me to start with?
Our most popular remote start is the RS370. It's your basic 4-button remote start with keyless entry and trunk release. That's pretty much our bread and butter unit. I can't tell you how many of those we sell, but it's pretty much the basic, it's the foundation.
Right?
That's our volume unit. Yeah, that's our workhorse on the RSX70 platform. Probably the other one that's become very popular is the RS271 and the RS272. Those are single button units, or like I said, the 1+1, which has become very, very popular.
I got to admit, the 1+1 is kind of cool. It's funny, from the stats I've seen, for whatever reason, maybe you can clarify this. I've heard that the 1 button is really popular in the US, not so popular in Canada. Does that remain true for Omega as well?
I'm not really sure. I haven't really heard too many. Most of the time when we get a call from Canada, they're using an RS370.
Okay.
Or they're using the 271. A lot of times what happens is the RS370 fits a lot of people's, molds on what they need. It's a 4-button remote. It covers keyless. It covers remote start. And everybody's looking for that. Even though it may or may not be the right application, it pretty much fits with everything.
I feel like that's the one when most, people think about having a remote for this type of system. That's what they would draw in their head, right? That basic 4-button remote.
Correct.
That's probably why it's the most popular as well.
Correct.
Now, as far as the T-harness solutions, has that been something that's really been growing at a steady rate? I'm just curious about what the trend is like over at Omega with the T-harness.
Well, we've seen a lot of dealers only install T-harnesses if there's vehicles, and the reason why that is, truth be told, the 12-volt industry has seen a shift, I would say, in the last 10 years. There's not many installers coming on board. We've seen transformations, as I'll call them. We've seen dealers who have tenors or salespeople or even detailers now want to become installers because, quite honestly, they just can't get anybody. The benefit of a T-harness is you can have that person who doesn't have a lot of confidence or experience take a T-harness, lay out the instructions. I have shops that have tablets, netbooks, things of that nature they can take in and out of the vehicle to save on paper and so forth. So they can take that T-harness, and with a couple connections, they can have someone who doesn't have a lot of experience do an installation, and it's added a lot of value. And I don't think it should be, we won't do the vehicle unless there's a T-harness, but there's some shops who will do that. And the fact that there are so many T-harnesses available makes it possible for them to do so.
This is a message that I'm going to continue to permeate throughout this entire remote starter session. And that is, what Michael was speaking to was efficiency in the bay. You don't have to get that senior tech to do a car when you can train maybe a more junior level or more entry level individual to be able to connect these connections. Because for the most part, I'm going to say on average, 90% is click. There's maybe a 5 or 10% flow that you might need to find one wire, tap it, or, pretty simple stuff. On the flip side to that, I want to talk about the sales perspective. Yes, there's an added cost to the total bill when you're pitching a customer a T-harness. Yes. However, your salespeople need to be informed and up to speed on what those benefits are from a consumer standpoint. You might be saying, well, what is a consumer going to benefit from having a T-harness? It's in the install side. Oh, that's not true. So I would love to pick your brain on this. I want to talk about this. How many times have we seen in history when you bring especially a leased vehicle back to dealer and there's something wrong, and they go look under the dash, and if they see black electric tape, oh, wow, you must have fried something.
Yeah, it's an area that actually I've given some shops some great ideas with. And because now what you have to remember, shops are not just car audio shops where they sell stereos and remote starts and security. They're service centers in a certain degree. There's shops that test batteries. There's shops that, do tires and so forth. So, some of the things I put together for some shops is if part of your pre-qualifying, questionnaire is, hey, is the vehicle lease or purchase? How long is your lease? Oh, 3-year lease? Okay. And then what I suggest to them is put them on the calendar for 2.5 years or so that in 2.5 years, you give them a call. Hey, you leased your, 2022 Honda Pilot. What are you doing with it? Are you going to turn it in? And then the bonus is that T-harness now, you get them back in the bay. You can simply unplug the system. And 99% of the time, based upon what they may getting, that same T-harness may not work. But you got the T-harness back, you got the remote starter back, and whatever vehicle they get, obviously there's a good possibility it'll be a T-harness for that. But you can resell the first T-harness. Not to mention you get them back.
Well, that's the whole point. You actually got them back in your store. And they would be very appreciative of that you followed up with them, you're intimate with their setup, their vehicle, and that you were thinking about them when the lease return was coming up. I mean, that's an amazing suggestion, Mike. Thank you for bringing that up. The other point I want to bring up, I'd like to hear your position on it, is, customers, when they hear the term application specific or made specifically for your vehicle, ma'am, sir, there is a value to that, because the other option is that, oh, we're going to have to make it fit, or it's a universal, these type of terms don't necessarily get customers excited. However, when you say, oh, we have the specific harness for your vehicle, we won't be cutting into any. If you don't mention it, they will not know, nor will they ask for it. You have to mention it, especially if that kit is available. Do you agree or not, or disagree?
Oh, absolutely. Part of what I suggest is when you have that customer at the counter and they're on the fence, use your shop and your expertise to kick them over the fence, so to speak. So grab that T-harness, take it out of the box. Show them that it's OEM quality connectors. Show them how it's loomed up and it's taped. Let them feel it so they can feel the quality. Because a lot of times it's what they call the puppy dog close. You go into a pet store. What happens? You see a puppy. What do? Put you in the room with the puppy. Next thing you know, a couple $1,000s later, you leave them with the puppy. Well, the same thing. You let customers hold the remote they're going to get if they're getting it. You let them. Here's the actual harness we're going to use in your vehicle. And I think that shows a lot because, like you said, it is custom. It is specific for your vehicle. What I try to tell people is don't just have a universal solution for everyone. Hey, pre-qualify your customer. Where do you work? How many people drive the vehicle? Do you work from home? What features are you looking for? I think that's really a feature. That's a question that a lot of shops either they don't ask, they don't understand, but there's a lot of value to it. And it's going to shift what way a customer may go for a product. You may upsell them into a system that doesn't have remotes, but now has a smartphone interface. I myself, I own a push-to-start vehicle. I don't want to carry additional remotes. I never take my keys out in my pocket. I put my keys in my pocket in the morning and take them out in the evening. I don't have to. And then with the addition of an app, it makes it easier because now when I'm out of range, I can use the app to control it. But you're right, custom is the key. Hey, I'm gonna create a solution just for you. It's not one size fits all. You came into my store,
put the remote in their hands.
Put the remote in their hand. Exactly.
Put that OLED one and then take it away.
It's always top down. It's always sell them from the top and down. If you go into a dealership, if they have cars, but they always have the fully loaded vehicle in the showroom. They don't have the vinyl seat, passenger seat optional edition. No, they show them that and then they work their way down. Exactly. So yes, pre-qualifying and letting them see exactly what they're getting is important.
The last point, and we'll move on from this T-harness solution. Again, I'm just repeating this because I feel it's so important. expediter business. Man, if you are in the expediter business and you're doing remote starts in brand new dealer vehicles and there is a T-harness solution, like what are you
It's a
doing?
no-brainer.
Why? Because I know there are some that aren't.
Yeah.
Like why?
It's a no-brainer, and you go to the GM or you go to the service, show the techs. I do work personally for a dealership and I'm friends with all the techs. I show them what I'm doing and why. So if they have that vehicle come in and they have a question, the first thing I want them to do is reach out to me. Hey, we have this vehicle, before I yank out everything, and which I know is not the problem. What should I look at? Develop that relationship, but show them what they're getting. Be like, hey, I don't cut anything. Here's the harness. Here's the quality of it. This is what's going in every one of your vehicles. This is how I stand behind my work, because I have a company that has a lifetime warranty on everything. So your remote goes bad, have a lifetime warranty on it. You don't have to worry about it. I may have to get your replacement, and it may take a little time, but you don't have to worry about additional cost for your customer. And I think that's an added bonus.
Amazing. All right, enough about the T-harness. I want to get into that linker app. So that's pretty cool. And what I want to get into a deeper discussion about is how the, I guess, design team over at Omega figured that it really improves the experience, both from an installer side perspective as well as the consumer. So let's break that down a little bit further. And if we want, we can even bring that up if you want, Mike.
Okay. Well, part of the thing with the consumer is they have an additional way to control their vehicle. Like I said, a lot of most of the vehicles are push to start vehicles. Most customers don't want remotes, but in addition to that, most customers don't want additional fees. We live in a thing now. There's streaming services. It's $14 a month for this. It's $60 a year for this, and there's just customers who don't want that, but they want something with a little bit more flexibility. They want something with a little more range than what their remote may have, or they just want that cool factor of operating their vehicle.
I do everything on my phone. I do my banking on my phone. I do my dating on my phone. I do everything on my phone.
Exactly. And this was another thing that we came up with that doesn't cost a lot of money. I think suggested retail is going to be about $49.95 for this.
This is not a high ticket item. I wanted you to bring that up. This is not like
it's not a high ticket item, even for installers to have it, because there's many times you may change settings on a computer, which you can do with our units, but you get the vehicle installed and something's different. I have to change this. And for an installer, sometimes taking it out, putting it in a computer, that's time. This allows them to plug it in, change the setting in real time, in a couple seconds that they can do that. And then after that, they're done, save it, and then they can even carry it over to their customer. So one thing also is they don't have to tell the customer they can change their settings.
Oh, right.
Because if they have a problem, honestly, I want to, depending on what it is, I want to look at what the issue is. But hey, come back in. Okay, grant me access. Let me see what's going on. If they want their runtime adjusted, or if they have a vehicle that requires double pulse for unlocking, things of that nature, they can change that on the fly without interfering or even disassembling the vehicle. This is something that can be done in the parking lot. You may not even have to put the car in the bay. And it's something that could be done by a salesman, somebody at the front desk, receptionist, GM, you name it, without even the techs being bothered with
that
it.
Initial basic diagnostic through that app.
Exactly. And then if it's something that needs to be explored, okay, you set the appointment or bring the vehicle in. So, like I said, once again, we like to give options. We like to give flexibility. We like to give, there's the cool factor, as well, but we like to give people, something that they can use, they can expand upon. And we do software updates. We haven't done one in a year or so, but nevertheless, when that comes up, usually the customer has to come back to the dealer. They have to take the unit out. Not anymore. And that right there.
Will the app actually notify you, hey, there's an update available?
Yes.
Yes. Interesting. Very interesting.
So the customer can do it, or like I said, you can bring it in, pull it in the parking lot, and update it there. You don't even have to pull it in the bay.
And of course, the app is free.
Correct. There is no cost for the app.
I like it. That unit there, I think, is going to be a little. It's a little bit of a game changer, just because of its cost. It's so minimal, and the interface, I think, is very attractive, right, to the consumer, and tons of value for the installer or salesman, like you said, just to run that diagnostic for sure. So that's a new linker app. Now, you mentioned this a couple times in your presentation about the upgradability or downgradability. I like to focus on upgradability. of the 70 series and how it was designed to be in that upgrade path to give dealers those type of options to sell out. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Well, when I was at the shop, and I've seen it many times, customer coming on a Monday, I just want a keyless entry remote start. Okay. We install that, they're happy with it, and then something happens. Their car gets broken into, or this car's broken into in their neighborhood or whatever at their job. They come back a week later, oh, I want a security system. And before this, I can't tell you how many times we ripped out the keyless entry remote start and had to install an alarm or remote start. And then the problem with that is a lot of mini techs will know, once you get a used harness on a piece, you don't really want to use it. You really don't. It's like putting
The lengths
toothpaste
aren't
back in the
right.
tube.
Everything
Yeah.
doesn't fit proper.
The
Nothing about
wires
it.
you need are cut.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
removed. Nah, they don't want to
There's
do it.
always one that's too short.
Exactly. So what we did with 70 and even 60 series where we introduced it, we said, okay, let's take pretty much every security system comes with an impact sensor. So let's take a basic format. We can take our X70, the software is already into it. So the software in the X70 is the same in the XX70B with a few variations, but nevertheless, you can plug a shock sensor into it, tap on it, and the brain's like, oh, I'm an alarm now, and it immediately turns it on. So you don't have to go into settings.
It auto-senses the sensor.
It auto-senses. And then you can either continue to use the horn, if you like, which most people do on the X70, or you can add a siren. So we just added that as value because almost every vehicle requires a bypass interface. Almost every bypass interface in every application gives you door status, trunk status, hood status, and so forth. So there really wasn't any need to connect door pins or anything like that. However, on that sensor, we do include analog, positive and negative door triggers. So if you have that older vehicle, you can hook up the door triggers to it. But we just seen that, we didn't want to put installers in a position that they had to reinvent the wheel to give the customer what they needed. And at the same time, we didn't want the customer to have to repurchase more and more equipment to do so. We said, let's just make it easy to upgrade. It's a simple addition. And quite honestly, as far as the siren is concerned, their shops, they probably got half a dozen sirens underneath their toolbox, with 10 years of dust on them that they can use. And, but this is the value that you can put it on the counter. Hey, what's that? Oh, well, you got the remote start and security system. At any point you decide you want to upgrade it, this is all you have to purchase. And it just makes it really, really easy, but adds a lot of value in a way to get the customer back into the store. Because I was always taught there is no better customer than a repeat customer.
That's 100% pre-qualified, ready to go. Don't need to sell yourself again. Okay, wait, I'm going to break down what you said there. How high can you go up the upgrade path with that base model?
You can take the RSX 70, and let's say you buy a 370, which is a 1/4 mile 4-button remote. You can add the LoRa antenna and remotes, and you can make it a 1.5 mile plus unit alarm or remote start. Or you can take RS275, and let's say you change vehicles and you no longer want the two-way for whatever reason, you can make that a 3 times lock to start solution. So any flexibility at any time with doing minimal effort. I mean, most of the time we see customers swap antennas, program remotes, and they're done. Or even the AUSCC, we've seen end user plug in the sensor, tap on it, and it's now a security system.
Can we add a glass break?
Yes, not on the X70. That's pretty much an XX70B because it does have the dual dedicated ports, not on an X70. But that's a limitation, right? You would have to have that brain.
Okay, and all the remotes work even regardless.
All the remotes work with any system. This as long as they're on the same frequency. We have 3 433 SST or 900 megahertz, and of course LoRa. So as long as the antenna fits, which the numbers are actually stamped on the antenna, and they'll flash different colors. 433 is blue, SST is green, and I think 900 megahertz I think is red. But nevertheless, as long as the antenna matches in the stamps, you can use the remotes. And in fact, you can take a system and you can run 4 different remotes simultaneously if you wanted to.
So you can have okay, I see what you mean. You can actually have all 4 models programmed to the same remote and they would all work.
You can take, for instance, an RS475, you can have the 4-button LCD two-way. You can have the 4-button, you can have the 1+1 and the single button all on the same remote, all on the same system, running simultaneously. So
here's my advice based on what you've told me here, Mike. I would definitely show the all dressed. I'm always about top-down selling. Show them the alarm system, show them the fancy remote, show them, the T harness and all of that. and then step it down from there, down to the basic, back to the keyless entry remote. Because you can do that with the same unit. You don't have to spend your time walking them left to right. What I mean by that is you don't have to have 5 different modules on a board example and go left to right. You can just go up, top, down in 3 levels. Here's your full blown, here's your intermediate, and here's your entry. Done. And from what I hear, the way that this platform is set up, that's what I would recommend from a selling perspective.
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of shops that do that. But for me, pre-qualification is very, very important. I learned that years ago. We almost had bad luck with a customer. It turned out really, really good. But we started asking those simple questions. Hey, where do you work? How far away from your vehicle? How many customers or how many people drive the vehicle?
Users,
if you have a how many son or daughter? We had times where we sold additional remotes, which adds money to the ticket. Just because we asked, hey, do you have a son or daughter that drives the vehicle, and would you like a remote for them?
Oh, you're right. I need that one. Oh, you know what? I probably should get a backup one for that. You know what?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how it works.
And all of our systems can accommodate up to 4 remotes, so it adds a lot of value.
Okay, I think we've covered it all. I've asked every question I want to ask. What is your final message now for those who have tuned in, have hung with us this long, have their interest? What do you have to say about what Omega has to offer?
Omega, we strive on listening to our dealers and our customers for features that they want. We work hard to create a reliable product that's easy to install, easy to use, easy to expand. We have phenomenal tech support. I've been in the industry 31 years. My other 2 guys are over 50 plus for both of them. So we bring a lot of knowledge to, the industry, but we listen a lot too. We are, I have my ear on everything that's going on with every manufacturer for every product that's, part of 12 volt. And I think it's important that, once people understand our ecosystem, so to speak, they'll realize the value, the flexibility. In addition to that, with things being the way that they have been for a few years, equipment being hard to get, or chip shortages, things of that nature, our line really comes to shine once a person really understands it. Because yes, there may be SKU A you want, but we have SKU B, and we can show you some quick and easy ways you can make it to be anything you need it to be, or even upgrade later. So that right there is something we strive upon as far as value, and just the fact, peace of mind, lifetime warranty on all components. It's been that way since day one. It's not going to change at all. And just so that customer knows, hey, you got a lifetime warranty on all components, even your remotes. So if you have that remote that kills batteries all the time or whatever, or just doesn't have the range that it used to, hey, we're going to take care of you. At our shop, we had spare remotes. We would swap the remote on the spot, and we would send the remote in on our own. So it wasn't something that we forced the customer to do. We took care of it. And a lot of customers came back to us because of that, and they asked for it specifically because they didn't have to worry about it.
Amazing.
So, and I think that's important, especially in this day and age.
Very much so. If you like what Mike's saying, I'm going to give you some information. Why don't you head over to the proper website to get more information on Excalibur or Crimestopper products? You're going to want to visit, check this out, caralarm.com. Doesn't get easier than that. And if you're a dealer, whether you're in Canada or the US, same website, check it out, caralarm.com. Get connected with Mike and his crew, his team. From what I see here, they've got lots to offer and lots of support to go with it. Mike, on that note, I want to thank you very much for coming on CMA Showcase today and making your debut. And we're pretty happy that you're here. And thank you for sharing with us everything from Omega in both Crimestopper and in Excalibur today. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too. I appreciate you.
Take care. All right. So again, reminding you to stay locked into CMA Networks right through to September 16th, because we got a lot more remote start and telematics info for you to digest, feature brand each and every day right through till September 16th. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't remind you of this ridiculously awesome contest we got going on. Master Tech Expo Arizona 2023. We've partnered up with the folks from Master Tech Expo along with 5-Axis Innovations and Sirius XM to draw 2 lucky winners, one from the US, one from Canada, to win an all-inclusive trip. Just head over to cmanetworks.com/giveaway. giveaway to enter, free to enter. Now, while you're on the website, make sure to check out all the other great videos, whether you're searching by brand or by category. CMAnetworks.com is where the 12-volt industry connects. Check it out at CMAnetworks.com. Thanks for hanging with us on this CMA showcase. Exciting stuff with the Omega products and Excalibur as well as Crimestopper. Whew. This is presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
I mean, yeah, let's talk about today where I'm gonna go topics.
Roll it down.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to SiriusXM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on SiriusXM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?